Marchers. Let me take this shit off. Freedom Marchers was good. Snapzilla Gorilla here, aka the Definition. Give y'all a minute to get up in here. Man, it's been a minute since I could actually sit down and chill and do a live stream without fucking driving. So please hit the like button when you come in here. Please hit the like button. Please hit that like button when you come up in here. This is going to be a quick live. I got to chat with my wife in about 30 minutes. Anarchy Television was good. I'm just touching on something a little different today, y'all. It's going to be a little bit of a different live stream, but it's important to me, right? What I'm going to touch on today is important because we already have enough division. And so we don't need more division being created. And I just want to talk about how this young lady is trying to perpetuate a certain type of division. Because family is important. I talked about this the other day when I did a live stream on what happened in Chicago where this private school administrator was bragging about giving children dildos and butt plugs and all this type of shit. And so the reason that they're able to do that is because family is dropping the ball. We're dropping the ball on family and the society as a whole, and we're dropping the ball just as men and women, getting back to family. This is very important because we are losing this battle to keep our children intact. So, yeah, this is kind of crazy. So, in an update on that situation in Chicago, is that the school came out and they basically rode for this teacher or official, basically backing up, saying, like, look, we gonna keep doing what we doing. We're gonna support our staff, all this, that, and the third. Man, just letting you know that they don't really give a fuck about what the parents think about what's being taught to their children. And so, yeah, this is crazy. But something a little different. You guys are not usually used to me talking about this type of shit, but I thought I'd touch on it because, shit's kind of crazy. So, who is the High Powered Podcast? She with the handle Queen Maker. She is a woman that kind of popped up in my algorithm out of nowhere, and she apparently has a podcast where she pushes this ideation or pushes this philosophy about women not needing men and not choosing men, choosing themselves, not being worried and concerned with what men got going on. Basically telling women that they need to not worry about men and just say, fuck it. We're just going to choose ourselves, not worried about marriage, not worried about having children, not worried about creating a family. We just going to do us. We're going to get careers and become business owners, and we're going to be in our masculine and all this type of shit. So I just want to touch on that because I wanted to kind of react to some of the things she says about men and how women should treat men and how women should look at men. And so I thought I'd play a couple of her shorts just to show you guys what's going on here, right? I don't want to paint a picture. This is not a personal attack against this woman. I think her name is Princella or something like that, a black woman. This is not a personal attack. I'm going to attack her, not even an attack. I'm going to rebut some of the things she says in her shorts. And she also does live streams and all this, I guess. So this is not a personal attack against this woman. This is me like, I'm going to basically debunk some of the shit she says, right? About men, about what men want, and about how men treat women in general. Like, she generalizes a whole lot in the wrong direction. So I just want to touch on that because I think it's just kind of crazy. Man, I've never heard no shit like this before. And she's gaining some level of traction. So I felt like, man, I want to talk about it. So, and again, the reason I want to talk about it is because we have enough issues in the black community, right? We have enough issues in the United States, period, in regards to a whole lot of shit. And we don't need more of these issues. We need to think about building families. We need to think about building communities with family. You can't do it without family. That's just the point blank period of it. So let me start with this video, man, because shit's wild to me. Okay, hold on. All right. Now this is basically I'm gonna play something where she's responding. What's up, Anarchy Taylor? What'd you say? Yeah, I mean, because we don't. And look, I'm not in the manosphere, right? I'm not in the manosphere. I'm a married man. I love women. I cherish women. I've been with my wife for 13, 14 years, and we're very happy. We have 6 children together. So, I'm not in this manosphere shit. But I do believe in creating families. I do believe in the man being the leader of that family for multiple reasons that I'll get into, right? For multiple reasons, because that is what it is. But let's play this. She has a lot of shorts.
He says 80%.
Hold on. Take that shit over. Hold on. Okay.
On a previous video, I stated that women choosing out of the 80% is the wrong choice.
Let me know if y'all.
80% is the wrong.
Let me know if y'all can hear it. I don't have any like special equipment. I'm in an Airbnb out here in Georgia where I'm working. So, I don't have anything going on. I'm just using 2 different phones. So y'all let me know if y'all can hear this.
Choice? So what would be the right choice then?
Let me start over.
On a previous video, I stated that women choosing out of the 80% is the wrong choice. He says 80% is the wrong choice. Only 20% of men get 80% of the women, which means that 80% of men are desperately fighting over the remaining 20% of women, which means scarcity.
Let me touch on that. She says the 80% of men are going after the 20% of whatever. She said the 80% of men are desperately going after these women. And I don't know how desperate they are. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing more and more men being so-called red pill, and they're not 80%. They're like saying they're on this MGTOW shit, right? They're like, man, fuck these chicks. I'm gonna get on my purpose, all this other shit. This is what I'm seeing, but I might be wrong.
And they smother, and that's a danger to her life. Choosing out of the 20.
So she's basically saying that 80% of men are desperate, right? 80% of men are desperate, and this because of the scarcity of women scarcity of women. And basically that scarcity puts women in danger because I guess these 80% of men are going to take a club and beat women upside the head and drag them to their house. Is that so? Where's this danger coming from? Right? We already know that they're rapists, child molesters, all this, that, and the third. Oh, it's too close together? Messing with the signal. Okay. But so I'm going to pull the phone further away and let me know if you can still hear.
Percent is the wrong choice because
she's basically saying that the 80% of men are desperate, right? And I think she's talking about 80% of earners. They got this high value shit, average man shit that's been going around. And she's saying that these 80% of men are desperate. This creates a dangerous atmosphere for women because men are just going to start dragging women off the street en masse. I don't know what she meant. She didn't really explain that.
Have no respect or appreciation for what is abundant to them.
Okay, now she's saying women should also not choose the 20% of men because they don't have any respect or appreciation for these women.
Therefore, they change partners like socks, thus giving her no respect. So choosing out of either pool is wrong. So the better choice is women choosing themselves. And that's what I teach her to do.
So that's just one video, right? Now, my question is in general, the fuck did I get bit? I think I got bit by a fucking mosquito, man. You gotta be fucking kidding me. So basically what she's saying is that women should choose themselves instead of choosing either 80% of men or 20% of men. So she's basically saying women should just choose themselves and not fuck with 100% of men, because if the 20% of the 20% top 20% of men are going to not appreciate her and trade her with other partners like socks, okay, and that we shouldn't, that she, women should also not choose the 20% because they're desperate and dangerous, and they're going to put women in danger, and basically women are dying in droves, and they're being assaulted and all this. I guess women are just being just attacked in droves by desperate men that want to be with them. This is what I'm gathering from what she's saying. But I can tell you, I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but again, I've been with my wife for 13 years, and I haven't had any other partners. God damn it. In that period of time, and I greatly appreciate my wife, right? I don't trade her with other women like socks. I am in the top percent of others, right? I'm in the top, like me, and I'm in the top 10% of earners. And I've been with my wife for this long, and I don't just treat her any old kind of way. I show her appreciation. I show her a lot of love. I know other black men and other men, period, that are in this same percentile that do not treat their wives like they don't appreciate them, and they just trade them in like, I don't get this. I don't get where she's getting it from. She's pushing this agenda to drive a wedge between men and women. For what reason? I don't know. I don't know how we're going to continue the species without men and women coming together to procreate, to continue legacies. I don't know I don't know what her solution is, but she doesn't present one. Her solution is for women to choose themselves. And then what? And then what? Because women want men. Many women want to have men, and they want to have husbands and children. You can't have that without a man. So I don't know what the solution is. I don't know where she's coming with this. I don't know how we're supposed to survive in the world without men and women being together. But it's that three-sided coin. Yeah. Yep. Her solution is probably just living on an island with nothing but is that what going to grow this population of the Amazonian women? Right? Is she going to kidnap men from the nearest? What is she going to kidnap men, rape them, have children? Like what is her solution? Right? Now this isn't the only video. Hold on, let me see if I can. Here's another one. I haven't heard this one yet.
Men say they don't love the way women love, that men want
Hold on.
respect. Men say they don't love the way women love, that men want respect because respect is love to them. They also said only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally, and a man is only loved for what he can provide. But in his eyes, love is equal to respect. A feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. So you want women to deeply admire your ability to leave chunks of shit stuck between the crack of of your cheeks. That nurse said it was 7 out of 10 of you. Your ability to drag a woman's life to hell. Your ability to recklessly produce children all over the place. Your ability to sit on video games all day. Your ability to move in with women or risk being homeless. And the ability to do the bare minimum. Go to work. Respect is earned. That means your love is earned. And you don't get that for doing the bare minimum.
Now, quite a few things or whatever, but it sounds like she's been dealing with certain type of men in her life, right? Certain type. I have to work on that because I want to whatever. But anyway, it seems like she's used to dealing with a certain type of man, and she's projecting that onto the vast majority of women. And if you look at the comments, a lot of these women are like agreeing with her. But here's the thing: men and women do love differently, and they receive love differently, right? That men do want respect. There's nothing wrong with that. But go get a job. You got shit. You got shit in your drawers. Like, what does this have to do with anything, right? What does this have to do with anything? 7 out of 10 men have shit in their drawers. How is that relevant, right? How is that relevant to anything? What you? Now I don't have shit in my drawers, but I don't understand if a man is doing if he's a man and protecting the household. What's wrong with having respect for that? Okay, you say it's the bare minimum, right? You say it's the bare minimum, but what is wrong? What was wrong? What is wrong with wanting to be respected for doing what you say is the bare minimum? We should be disrespected. We shouldn't have respect for providing and protecting, doing our job as you say, bare minimum. We should what? What is she talking about? Right? She sounds very intelligent. She's a beautiful woman. You know, she has a lot of masculine energy, but she's a beautiful woman, right? But I have a disconnect here. Yeah, she screwed a bunch of times, so she's projecting. Yeah, probably. That's what I would like to think. It's like the deceased Kevin Samuels had good points too, but was miserably bit. Yeah, like I'm sure Kevin Samuels did talk about a couple times how he was, cuckolded, but at least he uses, I don't know, he uses data and facts he used data and facts. May he rest in peace, whatever. But Kevin Samuels was at least about family, about a man honoring a woman, and a woman honoring a man, and creating families. Now, his thing was that women were straying away from that, and so that's why he focused on women, because he felt women were responsible for all this, that, and the third. Which that's a long, drawn out story here, right? I feel like the destruction of the black family specifically, began the feminist movement that white women started and dragged black women into, which black women, they weren't suffering under anything like that. If you look at history, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Yeah, that road does go both ways, right? My wife respects me for doing what I'm supposed to do, and this I go above and beyond. But she respects me, but I also respect her for raising, my children, rearing my children, nurturing my children, raising them up, nurturing and inspiring me to do better. Like, I respect my wife, and she respects me. There's nothing wrong with that. You see, she's not talking about how women receive respect, but in her mind, men only shit on women and give them their dirty drawers to wash. Right? That's where she's coming. That's where she's coming with this. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Oh, let's see. She has a video that said she has a guy on here, and maybe he's going to cape for her. Let's see what he says.
He say you ran
Oh,
through because you ain't
this is her. This is her, and she has this filter where she looks like a man. So let's see what she has to say.
virgin no more. And that your value is lowered because another man supposedly had you. But what that little boy don't know, Queen, is that ain't nobody ever had you. Because in this life, the Creator made you to grow, learn, and transform through life experiences. And it's only through experience that brings wisdom and truth. So who you are today wasn't who you were 3 years ago. And this elevated version of you ain't nobody had, ain't nobody been with. And they don't deserve to be with this new, elevated, transformed version of you. Men can't validate women. Only the Creator can validate the woman. And the woman validates herself. Nature made it to where men get their validation from women. He say you ran through because you ain't a virgin no more. And that your value is lowered because another man supposedly had you. But what that little boy don't know, Queen, is that ain't nobody ever had you. Because in this life,
what does this have to do with aversion and sex? Everything she's talking about can be, you can achieve all level of wisdom that she's talking about without having sex. To me, these are separate issues, right? She said in the beginning that men think that if you're not a virgin, you're ran through. I've never heard anybody say that, right? If a virgin has sex with one person before she marries another guy, has sex with one person in her life, you're saying that men think that she's ran through? Like, what are we talking about here? And you can elevate your mind, you can elevate your spirit or whatever she's talking about to create, whatever creator she's talking about allows women to do. I mean, you can do all that without sex being involved at all. You can experience different parts of the world. You can talk to different things with or without having sex, and you can experience that and still enjoy life with a man. I don't understand. Like, what does a man have to do with any of this, right? How are men stopping women from elevating? Because okay, so some men, they don't want women that have had 20 or 30 dicks inside of them, right? Because it just loses its essence, right? It loses its essence. That's just the reality of it. There is a such thing called imprinting. When women have sex with men, this is like a scientific shit. Every time when they have sex with men, they form a special pairing bond, especially if that woman orgasms. So, every time they have sex with different men, they lose a little bit of that. I don't know. I don't know what any of that has to do with a man. Men don't. We ain't stopping women from elevating. I don't understand. The Higher Podcast has a special perspective into male mind, though, that can't be taken away from her. The bitter truth she shares. But what's her perspective into the male mind? She doesn't have a perspective of the male mind. She has a skewed misconception of the male mind. Because as you can see, she said that men believe that women who had sex, who lost their virginity, women who aren't virgin, have been ran through. That's not what men say, right? That's a fallacy, right? That's not what it is. Says the sacred world, the modern world has cheap. Exactly. And she, in essence, is cheapening it, right? She's basically saying, when she's talking about these experiences and all this, that, gaining wisdom, she basically talking about go out. I don't know. Well, she didn't say it, but since she brought up sex in the beginning, I'm following the logic trail. She's basically saying experiencing different men in a sexual way, I guess. I don't know. But come on. Of course, there's still good men in the world, but she'll have you believe that all men are cavemen, and we want to like to head and drag them to a cave. And I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Oh, no, thank you. Okay, so let me see. How to choose better? No. Okay. Boys will be boys. Let me see.
Yes, I'm a firm believer that boys will be boys. They will have weak egos. They will be brick walls. They will be lazy. They will be entitled. And they will be forever codependent. Because I know this and accept this, I do not reason with males. I don't discuss serious topics with them. I don't listen to them. Because boys will be boys. And it is not my job to save them from themselves. Even though I hold this position, find males riddled all over my comment section from the red pill community, begging to be acknowledged. They beg by throwing insult after insult, hoping that I will respond to them. They're like kindergartners, throwing temper tantrums. I don't listen to them. I don't talk to them. I don't reason with them. And I don't uphold their delusions of grandeur. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they think. Boys will be boys. Over there. Yes, I'm a firm believer.
Boys will be boys, I guess, right? We're lazy. Men are lazy, right? Yeah, she a cold piece, but she's talking about a small pool of men, okay? She's talking about a small pool of men. She said men are lazy. Don't get me into this, okay? Men are lazy, but we're doing all the hard jobs. We provide most of the wealth in it. Most of the creature comforts you enjoy. Her little hair. Look at this. Her hair and all this and the third. Her sitting down in her on this screen, able to use her phone to convey her messages, which she has every right to do, to the world, is because of men. Right? I don't want to be like that. Women have made great contributions to society, right? In a different way. They bring balance. It's about balance. She wants to tip the balance. She doesn't want there to be any balance. She's very masculine. So she wants women essentially to be masculine. She doesn't want women to be in their feminine energy and do what's natural for them to do. Just like it's natural for men to provide and protect women, it's in a woman's nature to nurture, to all that stuff, to be just a support system, right? But she diminishes that, right? She doesn't think that that's important, but it's very important. Listen, I work in construction. Been working in construction for 16 years, okay? And the vast majority of the people on these construction sites are, guess what? Men, right? There are some women here and there, but they're not climbing these steel structures, right? They're not flying steel. They're not, they're not digging ditches. They're not pouring concrete. They're not. Like the job I'm on now, there's one woman and she basically drives a little bobcat, right? And moves dirt around. But, and there's engineers on my team. None of them are women, right? There are women engineers. Like the contractor I worked for before had a female engineer. But the point is this: men make things happen, right? The whole reason we have houses, the whole reason we have heating, the air conditioning, all of that shit, the whole reason we fight in wars, right, is to protect our women, to make our women comfortable. And the man that best makes women comfortable is the man that most women want. It's a reality. I'm sorry to say it. It's a reality. No, I'm not sorry to say it. That's real shit. Women make great contributions, right? Women make great contributions in society. Women are the reason we even wanted to improve on shit and elevate, right? To all this industrialization, all these buildings going up, all this technology. It's just a reality. But we're lazy though. Men are lazy though. Men make up most of the military. Men in the United States, we're all of the infantry. So guess what? If somebody comes to the United States trying to invade us, who's going to go out and defend this land against foreign invaders that would mean to kill and rape our women? Men. But we're lazy though, right? We're lazy. Oh boy. And what gets me is she never says anything like, oh, well, this is some men, this is not all men, all this, that, and the third. She would have you believe that all men are like what she's saying right now. It's very interesting to me. Oh, let's see. The truth about high value men. I'm very interested to hear that.
It's said that a high value man is a man that makes six figures and has the option to choose only young, fertile women. That's his only requirement to be high value. That's not a high value man, baby. That's a high value trick. A man who couldn't get no play in high school, couldn't get no play in college.
Wait. I gotta start this over.
It's said that a high value man is a man that makes six figures and has the option to choose only young, fertile, pretty women. That's his only requirement to be high value. That's not a high value man, baby. That's a high value trick.
High value trick?
A man who couldn't get no play in high school, couldn't get no play in college, and finally stumbled upon a nice paying career that'll give him access to punani that he never had access to. And he willing to pay for it. Baby, that's a high value trick. He ain't no high value man. Because even though he's not a financial bum, he's a spiritual bum. He's an emotional bum. And most likely a sexual bum.
A sexual bum.
Couldn't give her an orgasm if there was instructions taped to the punani. It's too expensive to trick over here in the United States. Get that passport, bro. Tricking ain't cheap. It's
have a hasty generalization, right? Generalizations are valid to a degree, depending on how you phrase it and ensure that people know and have the statistics, right? But hasty generalization is just like a broad generalization that no basis in fact. According to her, high value men are high value tricks. Okay, high value tricks who used to get bullied in high school could get no pussy. That's basically what she's saying. There are no high value men out there that would not have been able to get women without their money. Now, I'm gonna tell you what I think a high value man is. To me, a high value man is someone who is resourceful, right? That has skills, knowledge, and the ability to get shit cracking, whether they have a lot of money or not. Because let's say, okay, so many people, a high value man is a man who makes six figures and 6 feet tall and all this, that, and the third, and are known by other high value men as a high value, all this type of shit. But to me, it's somebody, if the fucking lights go out, right? Let's say the lights go out, right? Something happens, shit hits the fan, we ain't got no power. We ain't got access to the grocery store. We ain't got this, we ain't got that. Society breaks down. To me, high value man is somebody that can, when that shit happens, they can step up and handle business. They're the ones who are going to rebuild their little part of society or the community to help everyone else thrive. Leaders, right? They don't necessarily have a lot of money, but they have skills, right? They have skills, whether it be in construction, mechanics, electrical, plumbing, right? That can go out and get shit popping. That has some weapons experience. You know what I'm saying? That knows how to hunt, knows how to fish. That can always make sure there's food on the table. To me, that's what a high value man is. But I'm coming from a space that's different than the manosphere. But my issue is that she is putting everybody all the men in this little box. Like, we ain't shit. We're a bunch of barbarians. We can't get no pussy. This, that, and the third. Yeah. So I'm just showing y'all, like, what if a man came out and said some shit like that about a woman? Oh, women are this, women are that, women are hoes. They don't want nothing but your wallet. All this, that, and the third. Play him to the side. This, that, and the third. Like, what if we did that? We would be ostracized. We would be lambasted. Spend your time on you. Okay. Let's see. The nuclear family is BS. Oh, I got to hear this one.
I'm going to say something that you haven't heard anyone else say. The nuclear family is BS. That's right, it's bullshit. First and foremost, monogamy is also bullshit. Women have always been communal by nature. And it wasn't no fun if the homegirls couldn't have none. That's right, we passed that little boy around like a hot potato. Meaning that most males were left without a woman. So the higher powers created monogamy, outlawed polygyny, gave every male a woman that he would not have under natural circumstances, created fiat currency, job market, kept women out of it, forced them to compete against each other for a man with fiat currency. Since men are directionless by nature, the government gave him responsibility, which was family, and took two aspects away from women's nature, providing and protecting, and gave that responsibility to the man. But generally, men don't want that responsibility. It's not their... I'm gonna say something.
Whoa. Yo. Guess what, y'all? The nuclear family, right? Now, the nuclear family didn't exist before the United States government invented it. And put women in their place. Because, well, yeah, she said generally. Oh, she finally said generally. Listen. She would have you she's an Amazon. She is an Amazon. She would have you believe that men, right, while women were out hunting and fighting and protecting the villages, that men were at home breastfeeding the children and making clay pots and cooking them food so they can eat when they come home. She would have you believe that it wasn't until the United States government said, you know what? I'm feeling too overshadowed by women. So I'm going to force them to stay at home, be barefooted. Were men getting pregnant before the government? Did the United States swap, give women penises and men uterus? I don't get it. So let me think about this. What happened to these female warriors? Now there were female warriors. There were tribes and shit in Africa and in other places where there were female warriors and queens that handled their business. But these are outliers, right? But okay, so now she's talking about poly relationships. Poly relationships in general, right? Even if you go back to African history. Poly relationships were basically practiced by men who had multiple women. Now they had to handle some business. You know, they couldn't just say, you know what, I want to have 2-3 women. No, they had to ensure that they could protect and provide for those multiple women in those multiple families, and they had to pay dowries and all this type of shit. So it wasn't just something that was all willy-nilly. Let me just go ahead and just get a bunch of women. But this is a very interesting take. Let me see what y'all talking about. Chelsea G almost said this woman doesn't know her own history. Yeah, what is she talking about? Have y'all heard this? The government forced women to take on the what? Oh, I got to hear this again. You
haven't heard anyone else say. The nuclear family is BS. That's right, it's bullshit. First and foremost, monogamy is also bullshit. Women have always been communal by nature. And it wasn't no fun if the homegirls couldn't have none. That's right, we passed that little boy around like a hot potato.
That might be true, but what does that prove? Like, there were still families in poly relationships, right? There was still, it was still family. Now, nuclear family, right, where it's supposed to be just one woman, one man, and children. Yeah, that was something that was started here, basically in the United States, where they outlawed poly relationships. But that was to keep the men from marrying different women, and probably also women too. But I'm pretty sure, passing men around. What? Where did this happen? What?
Most males were left without a woman. So the higher powers created monogamy.
Oh, she's flipping it. She's flipping it. She's saying instead of the man, she don't want to say that men had multiple women in his family, and that he was going around to these different women, getting it cracking, having multiple babies by multiple women. She want to say that we was being passed around. Men were being passed. That the dick was being passed around to multiple women. Oh, I see. She's trying to flip the narrative and say, no, men didn't have multiple wives. Multiple women passed around a dick. That's what she's basically saying. She's just using semantics. It's crazy. It's crazy how she's doing this. It's wild. Yo, she got skills, yo. That is what she's saying. She's saying instead of the husband having multiple wives, it was multiple women just passing around one dick. Gotcha. Okay. I see.
Contrary to popular belief,
women are not hypergamous.
Women are not hypergamous. See, women and female animals have never needed men. They have always needed resources. A research paper found here at PubMed. Resource-dependent evolution of female resistance responses to sexual conflict. In resource-rich regimes, high-conflict females evolved resistance to continual exposure to males. Who provides the resources? Mother Nature has always provided the resources. Males created artificial resources, which is a byproduct of nature's resources. Mother Earth and Mother Nature gave women the dominion over the planet, which had the resources. So men forced women to need them by creating artificial resources and creating them.
Whoa. Whoa. This is wild. This is my first time hearing a lot of this shit. Now, we know that the earth has natural resources, right? We know it. We know that the earth provides resources. It provides water, it provides iron, it provides nickel, zinc, right? Copper, aluminum, gold, all the things you need to build shit. Wood, all that. Yes, we know that the Mother Earth provides. Yes, we know that. We know. But how are you going to extract those resources? How are you going to process them? Even back in the day when we didn't have industrialization, we had to chop wood, we had to hunt, we had to gather water. Yes, women performed the duties, some of the duties of getting water for cooking and all this type of shit. But who built the shelters, right? Who built the shelters? Who dragged all this equipment, right? All this primitive equipment from one place to another, because human beings were nomadic. And the reason we were nomadic is because we didn't have shelter, right? I mean, we had shelter. We built temporary structures that would survive in the weather that was in that region, right? So we would move to warmer weather, right? In particular hemispheres. We would move to different parts of the world that was more suitable where there wasn't extreme weather, right? And so, yeah, we had to move from one place to another to use the resources in these different places. But men, for the most part, I'm not saying all men, because women had their duties too. Women did things. I'm not saying women didn't. Women might have hunted. Women might have done this, that, and the third. But for the most part, men ensured that those resources could be extracted. Right? And men were always on the lookout for any dangers that may come across our villages, our tribes, and tear us away from our families, kill our children, all this type of shit. And yes, while men were out hunting and gathering and doing all this type of things, women had to be vigilant of the dangers around them. So yeah, women were ride or die too. They went hard in the paint as well, because that was just the harsh reality of the world. It was the harsh reality of the world that there were many dangers, predators, apex predators that aside from us, predators that were not, you know what I'm saying? Weather, right? All this type of shit. Women had their duties. Women did shit too. They got shit cracking. But it would not have worked without men. It would, and just like it wouldn't have worked for us without women. We need each other. You know what I'm saying? Tamiko Anderson says, one man, one woman from God. No, she reread God created one man, one woman. Both men and women need each other, honey. Otherwise, the human race ends. Exactly. What about the pH? Yeah, you get all them things in you. It does throw it off. She proves that women share the same men, like we've been saying for years. Yes, that's what they've been saying. Oh, Jay Smooth, what's up? Yeah, basically what she's saying, she shared a man, but she don't want to concede to that. So she says that niggas was passed around, dudes was passed around, dicks was passed around from woman to woman, and yeah, okay, yeah, if that's how you want to look at it, that's however you want to look at it. The amazing Bane. What's up, Jimmy Nguyen? She is misandrist, and a lot of other wrong things. Yeah, I agree. I would not want to live in a world without beautiful women, and I wouldn't want to live in a world without a beautiful woman. But she probably wants to create one. Let me see. Let me see.
If you're a woman of truth, light, and wisdom, you will unnerve men. And when you unnerve...
Okay, this is a good one.
If you're a woman of truth, light, and wisdom, you will unnerve men. And when you unnerve them, one of the elementary school insults that they would like to throw is, you just bitter. Oh, my fellow brethren, how you don't know how correct you are. What I have sitting here before me is what we like to call digestive bitters. And some of these include dandelion, gentian, wormwood, bitter melon, and burdock root, all which serve health purposes.
Okay.
Because all things that are good for you.
I'm not even going to touch on that one. What did she say? Hold on.
If you're a woman of truth, light, and wisdom, you will unnerve men. And when you
That is the biggest load of bullshit. If you're a woman of light and wisdom, you will unnerve men. What? No, that's what men want. Men want enlightened women that'll help boost them. What? By hearing by. What she wasn't lying about. Okay, a lot of men say women are bitter. But then she goes into talking about bitter digestives. What? That's a non sequitur. What does bitter melon and wormwood have to do with men calling women bitter? Like how does she disprove that women are bitter? The bitter greens heal. Okay. But some might believe that the bitter greens have defense chemicals that causes inflammation in people. I don't know. They still looking into that. I don't know. All I know is I stopped eating bitter greens for a while, and my inflammation is down quite a bit. My inflammation is down. I have more energy, but I've also been using Korean red ginseng, which is very bitter. So I don't know. I'm just using what works for me. But that Korean red ginseng, though, man, it got your body. It's doing good for your boy. Okay. And the reason I'm highlighting this is because I'm just getting tired of this division. Like there are women hating men in the YouTube space, in the manosphere, and we don't need this, right? We don't need this. We need to come together. They want us to be divided. Exactly. Balance. But these people want shit to be out of balance. She wants it to be out of balance. She wants women to behave as men. Like, I don't know. The one thing that exposes male nature. Let's see I want to know what that is.
Let me give you some clarity, ladies. Everything that's easy for you to do is your nature. Everything that's hard for you to do is not your nature and requires discipline, willpower, or force to be done. Law and law enforcement was created to govern human nature, specifically men's nature. Men's nature of violence, reckless behavior, and lack of direction. Women's nature of coming and free sexuality. With that being said, why do you think that there are laws on age of consent? Because if there weren't, males would have sex with all ages. Do know this. Opinions aside, you won't get arrested for banging an 18-year-old. That's not my opinion. That's based on the law of the land. Without laws...
Now, wait, this wasn't done. Hold on.
You know. Let me give you some clarity.
Okay. I have to agree with her on one thing. There are men out there that if there were not laws against basically pedophilia, that some men would go out and be a pedophile. But her assertion is that men, just men, if there were no laws against child molestation and pedophilia, we would just be running around banging and langing on 14-year-olds. Now, there are certain cultures, right, particularly in Europe, in the Middle East, where they were banging and slanging on 14-year-olds and they were 30 nasty 40-year-old men. But this is not in mass. And there's not 80% of men or 90% of men are not going around wishing that there weren't laws against pedophilia. They're just not. Because guess what? Even though there's laws, and I argue this all the time, laws don't stop shit, right? Written laws are not there to prevent anything. They're there to punish people for breaking them. Right? Now, I'm not saying that the law might not stop some people, but even though we have these laws, there are still men out here being pedophiles. Go to Megan's Law, right? Go to her website and look at the number of men in your neighborhood that have been arrested for pedophilia and child sexual abuse. It doesn't stop them. You understand what I'm saying? So her saying that, I wouldn't want a grown ass man, a 30, 40-year-old man, to date my 18-year-old daughter. As a matter of fact, I would go out of my way to ensure it doesn't happen. You understand what I'm saying? But I agree with that. Yeah, 18 is too cuspy. But I'm not about to sit up here and just say, oh, yeah, most men, they just go around banging 14-year-olds if there wasn't laws against it. That's fucking ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? I don't know where she's getting this from. I don't know where she's getting this from. She's crazy, right? She's suggesting that most men are basically pedophiles waiting for laws to change so that we can go do what we want to do. That's not what it is. It's not. Simply not. Because there's dudes there are men out there already doing it. And she just going to overlook the fact that women do the same shit. Women are pedophiles too. They're not women, all women. But there are female pedophiles. That's what it is. It's real shit. There are female pedophiles. And there probably women out there, if there weren't laws against it, who would go out and do that to children too. Men does it, but women does the same. Exactly. Jimmy Nguyen. Oh, what's up, Rashard? Rashard Gibbons posted to Discord in the chat. Yeah, they do get away with it more than men because men are more. First of all, most men aren't going to come out and say that they were molested by a woman and all this, that, and the third, but it happens. How many teachers have gotten caught? Come on, female teachers. Come on, man. Come on. She on that bullshit. Let me see. I do not compete with women. I'm not interested in hearing that. The car industry, the evaluation tactic men use on women. Oh, and then before she's saying men created a more comfortable world, basically, and forced women to enjoy it because we want to control. Like, what are you talking about? What? What? Wow, never. Apparently, she was married. Okay, let's see here.
Why I will never marry again.
Because I'm a free bird.
Free bird.
And I'm going to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, without having to answer to anyone but myself. I am going to come and go as I please. I do things because I want to do them, not because I'm obligated to do them. I'm not rushing home after work, exhausted, to beat you home so I can have dinner ready for you. I'm not going to be doing slave labor, cleaning every day, washing every day. As a single person, I can do
I don't know,
that
Jimmy.
when I feel like doing it. Cleaning up behind one person is always less work than cleaning up behind 2 and 3. I will never get married again because I value my freedom too much. And marriage is a cage, and you can't be free living in a cage. So I'm good.
Why?
Yeah, she sounds like an anarchist, right? Except, listen, she sounds like an anarchist. No, she does. Because that's what, as an anarchist myself, I believe that. I don't want to answer nobody. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But guess what? There are certain things, there are certain people I do want to serve. I want to serve my children. I want to serve my wife. To me, it's a duty that I am more than happy to do. And that's her choice. If she wants to not be with a man, I mean, hey, it's not slavery. If you chose, right? If you chose to be with that man and you agreed that you would do these things, it's not slavery. You're not married anymore. So apparently you weren't a slave, right? My chat is hidden. I don't know. You know they be doing weird shit with my channel, man.
I will never marry.
I mean, she's entitled to not get married. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, it's not slavery. It's duty. It's a duty. Yeah, you sign up for that duty, right? It's voluntary. No one's forcing you to get married. This ain't the 1300s. You don't have arranged marriage that you're forced to do. No one's, excuse me. No one's forcing you to get married, and you have an agreement with your partner on what duties you're responsible for. You don't. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, y'all. It sounds. She was married before, so maybe that's what she got going on. Maybe she bitter from. I'm using the word bitter. Maybe she has some thing about her previous marriage that made her this way. I don't know. They call her a man. Interesting. No, you're not a man, but you do have a lot of masculine energy. I don't agree with dudes who go into her comment. And if she does have a lot of masculine energy, which kind of like gives her this mannish looking face a little bit, but I guarantee you, if she was more in her feminine energy, she would look a lot more feminine. But she's not a man, definitely. Okay. This might be interesting.
Signs he's a male and not a man. Number 3, he has no purpose. He doesn't know what to do with his life. He can't see past today. And he has no plan of action on how he's going to get anywhere. A man with no purpose is just a male. Number 2, no self-control. He falls victim to every desire that he has, especially sex. As a result, you can see it through the things that have manifested in his life. Multiple children by multiple women, poor credit score, no accomplishments, and follower of the crowd. Did he go from wanting to be a rapper to a podcaster? Following the crowd is indicative of his lack of creativity. Number one, dishes out insults to diminish his own insecurities. Men don't waste their time negatively speaking on other people. Signs he's a...
I would agree. I would agree with a lot of she said here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have too much of a problem with what she said in this in that particular short. Oh, men lower your value. I definitely got to play that one. Where's part one? Men lower your value, part one. Where is that at? Oh, come on. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. The quickest way to value yourself
is by not employing the takeaway method. When men are attempting to use the technique of the takeaway method, and they're upset with me because the videos that I do, they fear that the technique won't work anymore. How are they trying to use the takeaway method? By telling you that you're not marriage material, that they don't want to marry you. And they do that to make you fight to prove that you're worthy of marriage. But the videos that I do makes women not want to be married. And they're afraid that women will be screaming this: I am delivered! I don't like men no more! I can't make them come to that conclusion. You can, depending on how you continue to treat them. Women are very well aware of their feelings, and they don't need men to tell them how they feel. You can choose to listen or not listen. That's on you. It's by not.
Now, hearing by says something interesting. She's not worried about what anyone thinks. That's good. She is not giving her. When does she give her power away? When does she give her power away? Because she had the power to divorce her husband, right? You see, it's not the men out here, right? It's not the proletariat male or the proletariat man that's taking women's power away, right? And women's power are not the only. It's not just women's power that's being taken away, right? It's everybody that's not part of the elite class. We're all suffering, right? We all have a lack of power that we need to get back, right? And so I don't know where did her power go? Like, what do you mean? Oh, I'm sure you do like men's though, and it's fine not to worry about what anyone thinks. It's really fine. I'm just here to I'm trying to make sense of this, because what is the solution, right? If women see, her goal is, she said it in this video. She said women who come to her videos don't want to be married anymore. Well, what is the goal? Do you want children? Do you want them to have kids? Do you think a man is just going to go around skeeting in a bunch of women? Here you go. Here's a kid. There you go. Here's a kid. You get a kid. You get it. Everybody gets a kid. No, it don't work like that. There are men out there that will do it, but not very many. They're like, you're not just going to find a bunch of men that are going to be like, you know what? I agree with this chick. I'm just going to, matter of fact, I don't need the skeeting. How about I just give you my sperm? No, it's not going to work like that. What? Now, you can go to a sperm clinic. You can go freeze your eggs, all this, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. But she's not talking about the consequences that come from basically being a single mother, which is what she wants women to do. She wants women to be single mothers. And in one video, she's talking about what she does for a living, and I guess she is a high earner. Most women are not high earners like that. Clearly, in her past, that's why she speaks from personal experience. But she's projecting that personal experience on everybody. And she's trying to convince women not to get married, not to have, I don't know, I never heard her say don't have children, but she's trying to convince women not to get married based on her singular experience, right? Now, a lot of different women might have experienced what she experienced. I don't know what she experienced. I don't know. I don't know the extent of it. I refuse to diminish men. I have 3 sons. I will not diminish them. Neither will I receive anyone to diminish me as a woman. And as you should not. You shouldn't receive that from me. You shouldn't allow anybody to diminish you, man or woman, because there are women out here that, like her, that will diminish you to just being a man's cum bucket and broodmare, which is not the case. Majority of them either end up dead, prison, or having a miserable life. Yeah, like we don't want to talk about the children that belong to single mother homes. It's not a good look statistically. It's just not a good look. Like children have a better chance when both parents are in the same household, right? But if her whole mission and her whole agenda is to just for women not to deal with men, period, even have children, then be prepared for depopulation, okay, or depopulation. Be prepared for that because that's just going to accelerate it. If she gets her way, then guess what? It's not going to be a lot of. That's going to be an extinction level event. But it is what it is. I'm gonna play probably just do one more, and yeah, I'm gonna get off this. Men lower you. I don't know where part one is. I'm just play part two.
Men Bring Down Your Value, Part 2. On Part 1, I showed you that the ghetto market in terms of housing. Let's make that more understandable. The woman is the house. The male is the market, which is the neighborhood. You could have a nice neighborhood where the intrinsic value of the houses are realized, and you have a quality neighborhood that increases the value of the house. So when a certain caliber of people begin to move in to the neighborhood and the original caliber begin to move out, the house's value begins to decrease based on the market. The average male is the ghetto market. And if you begin to let them move into your houses, lady, your mind, body, and spirit, they will drag your value down, even if you were originally high value. Men.
Oh, that was just a big word salad. That was what? That was the worst analogy I've ever heard in my life. That no, we're not housing in housing markets. No, we're not. Okay, it's just not. That's not what it is. You see, this value stuff. What? Oh man, I gotta take this off. High value this, low value that. Like this is the problem. That's why I have such a problem with those terms because now you got people like this just taking like, oh, you lower your value if you're with a man and this, that, and the third. So I'm going to parallel it with the housing market and this, that. Oh man, who decided that the women was the house? Where did she? What? I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all, man. But we're in trouble. If her message spreads like wildfire and women start doing this, starts taking her advice, and I'm glad. I'm glad I'm already married with my 6 children. I'm going to raise my daughters. This is what I asked my daughters. I asked my daughters if they want to be boss chicks or bosses, or do they want to be wives? They all said wives. All 4 of my daughters said they want to be wives. And so, and I've never pushed. I don't talk to my children about high value this and women this, and I don't talk to them about that. This type of shit. I don't talk to them about manosphere shit. None of that shit. The only example that I give them is an example that me and my wife gives them. That's the only example that they've been shown. My daughters want to be wives, so I'm going to raise my daughters to be wives. And guess what? When it's time for them to go out there and find a good man or whatever, I'm going to vet them. I'm going to vet these men and ensure that they're suitable for my daughter. And I'm gonna let women like her and women like her, I'm gonna let them do what they do. If you want to divest from men, go ahead as a woman. If you do what you want to do, but there's going to be enough of us in the world to continue on, to continue on and keep shit cracking. So I'm going to raise my daughters too. They're going to be strong women, but then I'm not raising daughters to be independent, right? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to raise my sons to be independent. I'm not independent. I'm not. I have a wife and children. I'm not an independent man. Now, do I earn? Am I the earner of the house? Yes. Could I survive without them? Like if I never had children, I'd have a lot more money. I'd be traveling every other week. But what would I have to carry on my legacy, to continue my bloodline on, right? So I am dependent on my wife and children to help continue my bloodline on, so that my bloodline does not die with me. That's very important. That's what legacy is about. And I want to leave them some resources and wealth so that they can be comfortable in the world when they grow up. I don't get this. I don't get this. Okay, let me see. Women have value in, I don't know. But I'm done going through it. Like I said, this is not a personal attack. She seems like a very intelligent, smart woman. Oh, am I buffering? I don't see that happening. Let me see. I'm in this Airbnb, and I haven't gotten the Wi-Fi password yet. I need to go ahead and do that. Sad part is when you speak the truth on TikTok, they send your own minion to cancel you. Their own minion. Oh yeah, I don't mess with TikTok. I have a TikTok account to view shit, but I'm not on TikTok, so I ain't worried about that. TikTok is weird anyway. I'm not putting no content on TikTok. I don't even want my children on TikTok. Like if you, the most Gen Z like me, are going to suffer thanks to women like this. Well, I mean, there's still hope out there. There's still women out there that that want to be wives and want to have children. They're out there. You just gotta, what the F kind of stereotyping is that? Typical stereotypical shit. Like, yeah, she is. That's basically what she's doing. She's stereotyping men. By hearing by says, I appreciate your sharing your perspective too, sir. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for listening to it. Yeah, 20. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, brother. I don't know what to tell you. They're out there. You just gotta. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. You should try the Pineapple Show. I like watching that. It's funny. I see some nasty shit from some people about kids. On what? On TikTok? Yeah, I'm not in. I don't want nothing to do with that. And my wife wants to start a family page on TikTok, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to put my kids out there like that. But anyway, y'all, I've been on this for quite a bit. I got to call my wife and do some cupcaking before I take a shower and hit the hay. But I found me a nice little Airbnb that I'm going to be in until the end of June, until this construction project is over. So, it's not bad. A lot of space for when my kids come down and my wife come down. We can, hang out and all that type of shit. But thank you guys for stopping by. I might do another live tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow morning or something like that. And talk about some other shit. A lot of shit going on. I just thought I'd touch on this real quick. No, I'm not gonna I don't want my kids on there. Jimmy, don't do that. Don't do that. Knock it off. Much love, you guys. Like, share, subscribe. And let's keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.